Hello everyone, this is the Punisher Mythos, and in this edition we will be talking about a malevolent, sick, and twisted individual. The crazy part about all of this is that this person and Frank have had similar training that usually builds character, morality, and principles that are admirable and should be upheld as a standard for American citizens to follow. What we got instead is America's nightmare, a spineless animal known as Barracuda. This character was the firstborn of his family and raised in Boca Raton, Florida, and grown up to be a mercenary and gangster with an extraordinary set of skills that rivals the Punisher's. He is very fond of mass murder, kidnapping, and during his time in South America, developed a liking to cannibalism. I will give him this, he did have a hard time growing up. One example is that he had a father that served in the U.S. Army during World War II and was an abusive alcoholic. To make matters worse, he once took one of Barracuda's hands and burned it on the stovetop, telling him to be hard as the mother effing world itself. Moreover, during the same night, his father abandoned Barracuda and his siblings. Barracuda was surely scarred and imprinted with that cold mindset, so much so that when Barracuda gets into a fight with another youth in elementary school, he gouges out the kid's eyes. For this, he was sent to a youth detention center, and from there he was eventually recruited to be in the army. Following that, he became a Green Beret, and according to Nick Fury, he was responsible for drug running in Nicaragua and committed other crimes that shouldn't be spoken of to the local villagers to ensure that there wouldn't be any resistance. Barracuda made his first appearance in The Punisher Volume 7, number 31 to 36, and number 50 to 54, and then eventually was granted his own series titled The Punisher Presents Barracuda. Barracuda received a lot of positive reception, so much so that he was even featured in Fury Max number 10 through 12. He would appear in numerous flashbacks that pertain to their time together in South America. He was even featured in one-offs such as being in a Punisher comic featuring Eminem, and in the video game titled The Punisher No Mercy. When it comes to the physicality and attributes of Barracuda, he is 7 foot, 320 pounds, has one eye, a glass eye, and 7 golden teeth that spells FU, and 4 fractured fingers due to his first encounter and fight with the Punisher. As I mentioned earlier, he joined the army and eventually became a Green Beret as a sniper and infantryman. This training made him an adept hand-to-hand combatant, a crack shot marksman, and he is a survivalist that could thrive and fight in various terrains, such as the desert, Arctic, mountain, tropical, and urban environments. Moreover, he has received training in several areas, such as amphibious, airborne, medical, language, demolition, and lastly, Black Ops training. Now, the million-dollar question, why could Barracuda be the most formidable foe for the Punisher? Well, I would say that every fight that Barracuda and the Punisher would have would be similar to a blitz chess match. They both have learned and applied the various training methods from the special ops uniforms they were in. What supersedes the physical elements in this fight is the mental and psychological elements. I'm sure that the Punisher can attest to the fact that Barracuda was one of his most formidable foes, because the criminals that he usually deals with do not have the edge and tenacity that special ops soldiers have. Due to this, the Punisher has to be cognizant and never get caught slipping, because if he does, that's it. Barracuda is the type that can be described as the one who chooses when to die. As I mentioned before, during their first fight, Frank stabbed out his right eye, hacks off 4 fingers with an axe, and then chokes him with barbed wire. Yet, Barracuda doesn't die and ends up knocking Frank unconscious. Now, Barracuda could have killed the Punisher, however, he got cocky and wanted to have him eaten by the sharks instead. Frank survives and later on gets revenge for this by shooting him close range with the shotgun and leaving him to die in shark-infested waters. In this case, Barracuda was caught slipping and was presumably eaten by the sharks. However, like the Punisher, he barely survived, yet was fueled by revenge. In the long, cold, dark story, the Punisher didn't fall for his psychological warfare involving his daughter Sarah O'Brien this time. Thus, he got the best of him, tortured him in one of the most cruelest ways possible, and then the Punisher used a fire axe to chop off Barracuda's arms. To put a period at the end of this sentence, he used Barracuda's AK-47 and emptied the clip on him to ensure that he is dead this time. In conclusion, like I mentioned earlier, Barracuda is one of the Punisher's most formidable foes due to the mentality, and this is achieved through the implementation of operant and classic conditioning from the military, and I must add the element of desensitization. Punisher has received the same training and experienced a traumatic event such as losing his family, which has exacerbated the process of desensitization in his personal life. However, Barracuda has dealt with it as a child, which is worse because the brain isn't even able to articulate it properly. Thus, he took on a negative approach to life and would do things that the Punisher wouldn't. If you pay attention to the Punisher, even though he may seem like a cold killer on the surface, he does have a filter system, and there are limitations that he doesn't cross when it comes to doing what he does best. He wouldn't kill soldiers and children without discretion, unlike Barracuda. Barracuda is one of my favorite villains, and this is a random thought. I wish and hope that we will see Barracuda in the upcoming Punisher series. I am a little worried though, because with Disney they may not allow an accurate depiction of him on a live action series like its Netflix counterparts would have. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Punisher's Most Formidable Foe series. Make sure that you guys comment, punish that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Punisher Mythos is out.